What is up, YouTube? How's it going out there in YouTube land? It's your boy Jimmy Jams back in the house again today. Okay, so we had DMX's funeral just what was it, day before yesterday. I didn't really get to watch all of it. I got to watch the procession. I ended up having a medical emergency myself, and I ended up in the hospital, so I didn't get a chance to watch the full funeral. So today, I went back, watched a little bit more of the DMX funeral, and there was one character up there that I couldn't believe it, couldn't wrap my head around what this guy was talking about. And the guy goes by the name of Jungle. Okay, Jungle apparently was one of DMX's friends, and apparently he had a lot in common with DMX, it seems, right? It seems like they had a lot in common. I'm gonna play this clip, and if y'all haven't seen this, you got to see this, and you got to tell me what the hell this dude is talking about. Okay, so but first, if you're here, you're just tuning in, make sure you give this video a like. If you've never watched this channel before, make sure Kung Fu chop that subscribe button, and let's check out what Jungle had to say at the DMX memorial. Okay.
Earl's best friend, and we've been on the road with him for the last couple of years. And this album would have not happened if we were not around. If we did not suffer.
Can y'all hear that?
And take Earl Simmons out of his house, drive an RV down south, and complete this album. I've been his friend for 20 years.
20 years.
20 years I've been his friend, and I've been around him. I'm not an industry dude, and we got similar stories. Just like him with his grandmother, I have a grandmother that raised me, and I love my grandmother. I have a dog.
The man had a dog.
We both were in institutions when we were young. And I want to give you a story to how our lives paralleled and cross each other. Tashira said something here tonight that struck.
Okay, before he goes into the story, let me say this. There's some people, no matter what time it is, especially in dramatic times or something crazy going on, some people just don't belong on the mic. Okay, some people, you just don't give the mic to some random ass dude named Jungle that is wearing a white tuxedo at a funeral. Okay, whoever thought let's give this dude the mic, like we gotta check on you, man. You know what I'm saying? Why give this guy a mic? But I'm gonna finish. I don't want to cut it off too soon.
Struck me, and I never knew it. She said that she seen X steal a
got a dog
pocketbook. That's the same thing I did as an adolescent when I was about 9 to 10 years old, and that put me in the group home in Yonkers. That's how I ended up in Yonkers. So I knew Earl Simmons since '89.
89.
He is my senior. But I was a fan of his before he even realized it, because he was a local hero in the music industry, in the music scene as an underground artist. He did shows at School 12 and in Commerce, and the group home was right next door to Commerce. And I'm gonna tell you something else. This last year of my life, all the time I know Earl, I never said this to him, but I told him a story that happened to me, and he was a part of that story.
Well, guess what there, Jungle? You ain't going to get to tell that story up here. See, here's the thing is, like, this is a time where people want to remember the good things about DMX. You don't go to a funeral and tell, well, DMX, when he was a kid, he stole a purse, and he was in trouble, and he had a grandma, and I had a grandma. He had a dog. I had a dog. You probably had a damn Cocker Spaniel. You know what I'm saying? That don't count. DMX had pit bulls. Where my dog's at? You look like a Chihuahua guy like me. You know what I'm saying? You probably got a little Lolo dog, and you're like, you know what I'm saying? I got a wallet. DMX got a wallet. You know, I got a baseball hat. DMX got a baseball hat, right? I was just like, man, are they going to let this shit run on, right? Are they going to let this go? Like, if this was my funeral, please do not let Jungle speak at my funeral. I've been having some health problems anyway, so if I happen to drop dead, please do not let this man speak at my funeral. Because he's going to be like, I had a studio. I had a YouTube channel. I had a mother. I had a brother. I had a brother just like Jimmy. You know, it's kind of crazy.
He was a part
Give me
of that
1
story.
second, guys.
My name is Jungle, by the way. So I'm letting y'all know for the ones that don't know me. All right.
Guess what I'm gonna do, brother? Hi, brother.
Over here.
Amen.
Over here, my brother. First of all, no. There's order. There's respect. You violated order. You violated respect. All right. But you disrespected my house.
Disrespected the house of the Lord.
You telling me?
Regardless of how good you think what you got to say is, you disrespected my house.
God bless you, my brother.
Scotty. Yeah, guys. I went through, was trying to delete some of the unblocked people, and I accidentally deleted some of my mods. Guys, if your wrench is gone, I'm definitely going to give your wrench back. Don't worry. It was an accident, and I haven't got around to giving them back to everybody yet. I'm not pulled up on YouTube. I'm actually just on StreamYard right now. But when I get over to YouTube tonight, I will give all you guys that are missing your wrenches back. So no worries. But this preacher, I wouldn't have let Jungle got that far. When he started talking about stealing the purse, I'd have been like, look, man, hey, we're here to remember the good things about DMX, not all the bad stuff he may have done. We know DMX did some bad stuff when he was messed up on them drugs. That man thought he was a cop at one point at the airport. You know, we all know that. But we want to hear the good stories. The rap that his daughter gave was absolutely beautiful. Shout outs to that little girl. She absolutely killed it for her daddy. You know what I'm saying? And that is what the service was about. Not to be like, oh, yeah, me and DMX were boys, man. We used to smoke blunt. I'm the one that got him hooked on crack, right? I thought that's where Jungle was going to go with it, right? Like, where the hell, you know, just they should let me talk, right? At that point, they said, hey, get a white boy to Mike. Get a white boy to Mike. He probably got something epic. I had a grandma. I had a dog, right? I ain't never been in a group home, though. I couldn't. I guess Jungle got me beat on that one, at least.
God bless you, my brother. God bless you, my brother.
When a preacher says, God bless you, my brother, that means that's basically saying, hey, later, you stupid MFer, right? That's what that translates to. When a preacher says, God bless you, my brother, that really means get away from him, you dumb ass, right? In preacher terms, only God can help you is what this preacher meant. Like, I don't know what you did, but you disrespected the church. You disrespected the preacher's house. I mean, and they're in the Barclay Center, so it ain't really his house, but, you know, his family's there. You want to remember the good. You know, like when I die, I want people to tell good stories about me. I don't want them to tell stories about, well, I remember this time Jimmy did this and he did that, and we were raising hell together. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them stories at my funeral. I want the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like his daughter did, you know, that even though my dad's not here, he will always be with me. You know, DMX played a major part in everybody's life. There's some people that were in the trenches down and out would put on DMX's music and would make them feel better. You know what I'm saying? And them are the stories that you want to hear. You want to honor the man. You don't want to bring up bad memories at a funeral. That's all I'm saying on that one. And when I seen Jungle up there, and now look, a lot of people felt different about this because some people really wanted to hear what dumbass Jungle had to say, right? And I was thinking, I was done when he got to the DMX stole the purse, and I stole the purse when I was 9 or 10. And plus the white tuxedo, I could not get past, right? I don't know. Where you going to, a P. Diddy party? This ain't an all-white event, man. This is a funeral for DMX. You would have looked cooler with just a damn Rough Riders t-shirt on, walked up there and was like, throwing up your exes, talking about DMX was the man. I'm going to miss him. I had a lot of good times with my brother. He pulled me through a lot of difficult times when I was young in a group home. I would look up to DMX. That's a good story. Somebody should have wrote that shit for him, right? But, you know, apparently, you know, emotions and you thinking you saying the right things, and maybe Jungle even meant well. You know, he probably meant well what he was going to say, but it just came out effed all up. You tell the crazy stories at the funeral after party. That is absolutely right. That is 100% right. if you're going to share something crazy, you get with people that know that crazy part of DMX. You'd be like, man, remember that time we slammed that bottle of Patron, DMX headbutted you in the face. Remember that you can tell those stories later with your groups of people that you run with. You share them types of stories, but you don't go in front of his family and say something that's just like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? And this is a prime example of this. I went to my friend's funeral, right? And this is what happens when you give anybody the mic, okay? My friend, she passed away young age, and she was the manager at a Wendy's, okay? Which, you know, respectful job. You got to work. You got to do your thing, right? So, but at her funeral, they were just letting any random person get up there and speak on her behalf. And this girl got up there that she worked with, and she was just bawling out crying, right? Just bawling, crying. And this was her whole eulogy. And this girl's name was Candy Brown that passed away, was a friend of mine. She said, Candy taught me how to make French fries. That was her eulogy at her funeral. This girl literally got up there and said, my friend taught her how to make French fries. And she was bawling. And that is all she said. That's it. She said it multiple times. She taught me to make French fries, crying. She taught me to make French fries. And I was sitting there in my seat, and I'm thinking, if Candy Brown is looking down on this, she is laughing her ass off, right? Because she had that type of sense of humor. But still, I wasn't laughing, and I was thinking, somebody get that girl, you know, off the mic, right? She shouldn't be on the mic. You know, I think if you're going to get up and speak on somebody, you shouldn't just, I mean, if it comes from the heart and you're a good speaker, that's great. But if you ain't a good speaker and you're trying to speak from the heart, you might need a little help planning that before you get up there and say some damn stupid shit. That's just like saying one of my friends be like, yeah, Jimmy was the man. We smoked some blunts. We went to the whorehouse. He liked Asian strippers. You know, you don't do that. You don't get up there and tell the truth. You know, you don't do that. You don't do that. You get up there and you share the good memories, not all the crazy shit you done with people. You know, I had Candy's back and spoke. Yeah, but the girl that was about the French fries tripped me out. The whole funeral, when I left, that was pretty much the only thing I could remember was the girl that Candy Brown taught how to make French fries, right? Because nothing else sunk into my head but the French fry thing, right? And I still take that with me to this day because it's been some years since she passed away now. And I can still remember the girl's face. I can still remember what she looked like. And I try not to go to the Wendy's that she works at because I just it's weird. It's just a weird situation. But yeah, prepare a speech. And if you think it might be stupid, let somebody proofread it. You know, like, okay, this is what I'm going to say at someone's funeral. Take a look at it and tell me if it's okay. You know, get a second opinion. And apparently, Jungle didn't get a second opinion, right? Now, if he did tell the rest of the story, I wouldn't mind hearing the rest of the story. You know what I'm saying? But he was already leaning towards DMX's album wouldn't have got done if it wasn't for me. That night wasn't about you, dude, in your white tuxedo. You sound like you say, I'm not an industry dude, but you get up there talking like an industry guy in a white damn tuxedo, right? And it ain't about you. It's about DMX and his family and his friends that are sad and upset. You know, you should be getting up there saying stuff to uplift the family, uplift the friends so y'all can, you know, come together and usher DMX into them pearly gates in heaven, right? Not up there talking about, yeah, I snatched purses when I was 9. I'm in a group home. It was really ghetto. There ain't no other word for that shit. What transpired right there other than ghetto. But glad it was only like a small thing in the funeral. The rest of the service really beautiful. And I have to say, DMX went out in absolute style. Absolute style. I mean, the monster truck, the coffin with the logos on it, thousands of people. I mean, I know it sucks to die, but if you got to go and you got to have a funeral, that is the way to do it. I mean, that shit was dope. Are you doing better Beyond the Truth podcast? Jungle just mad because DMX didn't leave him. Yeah, probably. Well, my uncle passed away in 2017. His older brother showed up with a gun going off on everyone, where my uncle's in heaven like, what the hell? He shows up with a gun. I will. What the hell? We want house. Yeah, I mean, people have different ways with grieving. Of course, you know, different people have different ways of grieving. Now, this other story I read on Vlad, and this one's a little bit touching too. Guys, I know y'all have heard in the news about the 7-year-old girl that was shot and killed in the McDonald's drive-thru. And there was like 50, 60 shots fired at this dude. And one of the bullets went through the back window. Well, actually, like 3 or 4 of the bullets went back through the back window and struck his 7-year-old child. Okay? There's videos of this dude surfacing, okay, pissing on his opposition's grave. So what is believed is this is a retaliation for this man pissing on someone's grave. Okay, now here's the thing. There should be a law against that. Okay, there should be some type of law where they can prosecute you. You should not be pissing on somebody's grave. Now your 7-year-old daughter's dead, and you know these people wasn't trying to kill the little girl. They were trying to kill him, you know, for that disrespectful act that this dude did. Now, he's out there saying, you know, he wants the killers of his daughters prosecuted. He wants them in jail. Your actions led to, I ain't saying just because you piss on somebody's grave, somebody should go out and kill your family. Don't get me wrong, right? Don't get me, I don't think that should happen. But if you're doing things like that, and you're going out and you know you're got gang ties and you're gang affiliated and all these things, and you go piss on your rival's grave and videotape it, right? And then when they come back and shoot you up, you out there talking about you want somebody in jail. It is horrible they murdered these kids, and these people do need to be in jail for this, right? But I know their intent probably wasn't to kill that child. Their intent was, we're going to put so many bullets in this dude, he'll never piss on anybody else's grave again in his life. Who does that? I mean, I've heard the saying, you know, when you die, I'm going to piss on your grave. But you don't think people would really do that, right? They would really go out their way to go to drive to the funeral, not even put a flower, like, you know, I ain't going to drop no flowers. I'm just going to piss on your grave. One, I don't know what good that does. Okay. 2, because you're in an airtight coffin that's sealed, right? So it ain't like you're pissing on that person, right? And plus, they're 6 feet under the dirt. You would have to have a bladder the size of 5 fucking camels to piss that much for it to reach the coffin, okay, for one. You know what I'm saying? You had to flood the ground, and it wouldn't just go down. It would start wetting the ground outwards. You know what I'm saying? So you would have to have, so it ain't like you really technically peed on the man, right? But it's just the thought that you would be that disrespectful. And it cost his daughter his life. That is one of the, I mean, I ain't saying that people should go out and shoot people because of something like that. But I feel like, man, this dude has some responsibility in this stuff. And how can you live with yourself? If I did something to get my daughter hurt, I could never live with myself for that, you know? And shout out to my daughter. She got a promotion today at work. Pops is super proud of her, right? She's moving up in the world, working hard, doing her job good. And she got a promotion today. She's interviewing for the promotion, I think, right now. So I'm wishing her all the best of luck, because one day you're going to have to take care of your dad. So make sure you make that bank, okay? Cindy Lou, that's what I've always heard. Dance on someone's grave. Pissing on the grave. His address got dropped because of PPE loan. Congratulations. Shout out, Tiff. Congrats. Yeah. She'll be working more hours, making a little more money, you know, managing a store. So she's doing all right. I'm proud of her. Dad is proud. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I lucked out and had a decent kid, you know, because I was a little bit of a mess up. And her mom's batshit crazy. and I'm crazy, right? But here's proof to this. 2 crazy people can have a normal kid. I don't know how that works, but it does, okay? 2 dum-dums can have a smart kid. So when you see 2 dum-dums together, it'd be like, man, they just going to bring a little terrible kid into the world. Not necessarily. I think I'm living proof of that 2 idiots can have an intelligent, smart, awesome kid, okay? Other headlines in the news that I thought was pretty crazy was that one about the dude pissing on the grave. I was like, that is absolutely horrible. That is absolutely horrible. Okay, another thing I want to touch on is the man, Jake Paul. I got a lot of stuff to talk about today. A lot of stuff to talk about. So Jake Paul, right? He beat up Ben Askren like last week, knocked him out, first round. Triller boxing event with Snoop Dogg. The most unprofessional ghetto shit I have ever seen on TV as a sporting event ever in my life. Okay. It was the worst commentary. It was the most unprofessional commentary. It was the worst shit I've even seen. Okay. It was just so unprofessional that it was almost mind blowing. Performances, really good though. I like Snoop. I like Ice Cube. I like E40. Even Bieber was all right, skipping around and prancing, right? He was even okay. But all the commentary that Snoop was doing, Oscar De La Hoya's up there all fucking drunk, right? It was horrible. And these people that were up there, they're like professional boxing analysts. Some of them were, and they're up there smoking blunts with Snoop Dogg, right? Talking, they're out there joking what the fighters do. You ever turn on HBO and heard Larry Merchant go, well, the man's built like a bag of fucking flour? You don't hear stuff like that, right? It was so trash. It was so trash, so set up, so fixed. And so anyway, this dude Jake Paul thinks he can really fight. He thinks he can really fight.
Everybody put on your helmets. Bullshit is being flung.
Bullshit's being flung. He shows up to UFC 261 and gets into an altercation with Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier, 2-time light heavyweight champion. He's a retired fighter. You might know him. He's the one that had the 2 fights with John Bones Jones, DC, one of the greatest all-time MMA fighters. DC gets up in Jake Paul's face and tells him, like, look, man, I ain't going to play little kid games. I'll slap the shit out you. You know, basically that's what DC told Jake Paul. The whole crowd started chanting F Jake Paul. So there's a lot of people coming out talking about they wanting to fight him. So Tyson Fury's son wants to fight Jake Paul. And we're getting to the point to where if you're going to say you're a fighter and you're going to get out here and you're going to be messing with us, because he wants to fight Conor McGregor. He outweighs Conor McGregor by like 50, 60 pounds, right? Conor McGregor is not a boxer. He's an MMA guy. And Conor McGregor ain't going to fight this guy to save his life because Conor McGregor got $500 million. He could care 2 cents less about this dude. Jake Paul broke in Conor McGregor's eyes. He ain't got, we talking, he might be worth $50 million when Conor McGregor's worth $500 million. It's a big jump in y'all's bank accounts. You know what I'm saying? So, he looks at this dude like he's just a big goof, right? Now, I don't know what the point was. Dana White has been going out and saying, look, he's going to sue Jake Paul because he don't like him interfering, trying to pick fights with contracted fighters when he's calling out all these fighters, but these fighters can't fight him because they're contracted to UFC. So you can't go arguing with people that are under contract. So he's saying that Dana White's saying he's pretty much going to sue Jake Paul. Jake Paul came out and said that Dana White is a damn douchebag and he don't pay his fighters fairly. Now, that might be true. Okay, I can't argue too much with Jake Paul on that one, that Dana don't pay his people the best. But what Dana is good at is making a business money. He's like a corporate businessman, and his job is to make sure this company brings in as much money as they possibly can. So, UFC sells for $4.5 billion. Okay, $4.5 billion. So now, once they sell, everybody wants a raise. Okay, everybody wants a raise. But here's the thing: the people that paid the $4.5 billion for it, they want to make some of their money back. Wouldn't you? If you just bought something for $4.5 billion, wouldn't you want to recomp some of your money? And then you get the pandemic that hits, so now they can't do sporting events. And everybody's bitching and crying about a raise. John Bone Jones crying about a raise. Everybody wants more money, but the company's technically making less money and still letting the little guys fight and paying them. You look at some sporting events, they got benched and a lot of people didn't get paid. These fighters were able to continue even though they were fighting in venues with nobody in it. They were still getting a paycheck at the end of the day, okay? So Dana White's douche, don't pay his fighters. If Jake Paul wants to talk all that shit, he needs to go ahead and sign him a contract with the UFC, get up in there and fight a real fighter that can box, that can strike, do his thing, and then maybe you'll get the respect you deserve. I think the reason that the whole audience was chanting F Jake Paul is because they don't respect him. They know that the fights he's doing are fixed. He's fought a damn tennis player, a basketball player, and a wrestler. But yet you say you're this top-notch level boxer. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it because I'm not seeing you box anybody that can box. That's like if I walked outside and there was a little 10-year-old playing kickball and I was like, yo, I want to fight that 10-year-old playing kickball. Of course I'm going to win, okay? Of course I'm going to win. Maybe not. I might get beat up by a 10-year-old and suck. But for the most part, that's a setup. I know I can beat this 10-year-old kicking his ball, right? So I'm going to pick him to fight instead of picking his daddy that's a professional boxer. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how it is. Then, since we're on the fighting thing, I thought this story was a little crazy too. There's a Conor McGregor lookalike, okay? And he is a drug dealer. He looks a lot like Conor. He's a few years older. Let me see if I can show y'all this picture. It's on Vlad. Let me pull this up real quick and show you what this dude looks like. He looks a lot like Conor, a little bit of an older version of Conor McGregor. Let me pull this up real fast so y'all can see this. Tell me this dude don't look like Conor. He looks like a little bit older version. He got his little bags under his eyes, I'm assuming because Face of America. What's up? Good to see you. He looks like a little bit older version of Conor. Conor looks a little more well-kept because, he's worth $500 million. But this dude does resemble him. If you was to say, look, this is Conor McGregor's dad, I would believe it. But he was walking around basically with business cards that said McGregor Enterprises, right? McGregor Enterprises, own it. And when you called it, he was selling drugs. So the police busted him. They went through his phone. They found all these contacts. They found all this information where he had been making drug deals. Okay, so there's Conor McGregor and there's the Conor McGregor lookalike that will sell you some crack and heroin. Okay, I don't know exactly what drugs he was selling, but apparently he had been passing these business cards out all around town. Come to find out, he goes to court. He went to court, I believe, yesterday, or was it today? Anyway, he gets 3 years, right, for the drugs and then impersonating Conor McGregor. I thought that was a pretty crazy one, But there's everybody has a doppelganger. When I was in school, high school, there was a dude that looked just like me. I mean, he could have been my twin brother, and the only difference was he wore glasses. His name was RJ, and there was points in time that he was younger than me, and I would loan him my ID so he could buy cigarettes, because at that time you had to be 18 to buy cigarettes. In my senior year, I would give him my license so he could go buy him cigarettes. He was going to the clubs with my license. He was using it so much that I had to go get it back from him, right? Because he was passing straight forward. He was like 16. So it only gave him a couple years, but it was enough for him to get in bars. He couldn't drink, but he could get into like concerts, and he could go buy cigarettes. So he acted like he didn't even want to give my ID back. But when he took the glasses off, he could have been my brother, right? Good gig. Last half baked. LOL. What's up, Jimmy? What's up, Jay? The good. What up, Blood? What up, Charlie? The only person that can beat DC. John's the only person that can beat DC. Well, Stipe beat him twice. You know, so that's hard to say that John Jones is the only person that can beat DC. I mean, at the same, because John Jones and DC are the same weight class, so it makes sense. You know, Stipe was a lot bigger than DC, so it was a big difference in size there. And I think there was one more story that I wanted to touch on with you guys. Which one was it? Okay, this is the mugshot for the 7-year-old girl. This is the one that I was just touching on about the dad that had, urinated on the grave of his ops. And this is the person they're looking for in connection to the shooting of the 17-year-old girl. He was identified as a suspect in the shooting of a 7-year-old girl at the McDonald's in Chicago. It was noted the teenager was shot multiple times while trying to take the car of a family after he crashed his car while trying to escape from the cops. Now the mugshot of the suspect has surfaced. Okay, now y'all seen that. That's where he crashed on the interstate and he tried to carjack a car. And there's another shot, another look at the guy. You're gone, dude. I hate to be you when you get to prison, killing that little girl like that. That's one thing they don't take good when you're locked up. If you're in there for messing with kids, like if you're a pedo, you done killed a kid, you done hurt a kid, or anything like that, that shit spreads through the lockup fast. And right then you become a target. So this dude, I feel bad for him when he gets to the prison for killing that little girl. And karma always comes back to get you, man. It never forgets, right? It never forgets. When you do something wrong, karma always remembers it, and it always comes back. Forgot about Stipe. Yeah, see, I'm on my game. I'm 6 foot, 230, and I can hold my wind. I never get gassed. It's okay for me to clout chase, right? LOL. Okay, you're 6 foot, 230 pounds. It's all right for you to clout chase? I guess that's a new thing to me, man. When I first came on the internet, I didn't even know what clout was. I was like, is that money? Like, I like money. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's like trying to get a little bit of internet fame off of somebody else. I don't know. I've gotten that. You clout chaser, you culture vulture. Somebody left that on my page the other day, said, you ain't nothing but a culture vulture. And I was like, well, I might be a culture vulture, but it's like, I vulture off American culture. Some people will say, well, this is black culture. This is white culture. This is a melting pot. I think people forget that in America. They want to separate us or divide us. All of this is my culture. Okay. I grew up around everybody, this same country everybody else did. I have the right to talk about whatever I want, no matter what color my skin is. And so does everybody else. Does that make you a vulture because you talk about what's going on in your world? Is this not my world? You know, and that's what I want people to think in their head when they say, well, this dude's a culture vulture. He comes up here and he talks about people for hits. I come on to YouTube, right? I mean, that's the point of YouTube, is to get people to watch your videos. And you got to have something to talk about. So it ain't like I pick one person to talk about. I talk about whatever's going on in my world. And if that makes me a culture vulture, then I'm a proud culture vulture. You know, these things interest me just as much as it interests everybody else. So for y'all people that think I'm a culture vulture, you can eat a big one, okay? Because this is my world just as much as it is yours. And I have the right to talk about anything on this planet that I want to talk about. You know, it should be nobody trying to take your voice away and hit you with some bullshit reason why you shouldn't be able to talk about what you want. You know, if I listened to all them people and said I was a culture vulture, I could be up here making videos on what is that damn game everybody plays? I can't even think of the name. I ain't even that nerdy. With the little swords. I can't think of it. Can't think of it. I don't know why. Not Fortnite, but the other game that everybody plays. Okay, let's see. What'd you say? Damn. I want to talk about Jake Paul and how he stole the show with the UFC fight. Can't believe that all eyes were on Jake Paul as he was walking through the joint. I don't think Jake Paul stole the show. You know, I think Jake Paul, he's a smart guy. Okay, he's smart. He knows if he makes everybody hate him, that you can become super famous as a heel. He made $750,000 off the Ben Askren fight. Okay, he made $750,000. But if he was to get in there with anybody at 190 pounds in the UFC, they would destroy him. I mean, anybody with any striking skills, you know, I think could beat Jake Paul. I don't think he's that good. Roblox. No, Minecraft. I was thinking of Minecraft is what I was thinking about. I could be up here like every other white dude making Minecraft videos, right? That shit sucks. I don't want to do that. I'd rather talk about DMX. I'd rather talk about, you know what I'm saying, shootings in Chicago. I'd rather talk about all that stuff. I don't want to talk about damn Minecraft and Roblox. You know what I'm saying? Like all these other dudes do. The hell with that. Jimmy, no hater. Roblox. Jay. Chenny versus Jake Paul. Look, I'd fight Jake Paul for the right amount of money today. Okay. Even with my blood pressure high, about to have a heart attack, I would get in there and try to knock him out. I doubt I would win. One, he's a 6'4", 20-some-year-old man that's pretty cut. He looked like he knocked me out, right? But I'd still fight him. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a boxer either. So then he'd be like, yeah, I whipped Jimmy Jam's ass. Well, you'd be like, well, Jimmy Jam ain't a boxer. You know what I'm saying? Get in a wrestling match with Jimmy. He'd choke you out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Okay, the Mo 3 thing. Y'all remember that? Mo 3. All right, let me touch bases on this. More details are coming to light involving the 2 men arrested for the murder of rapper Mo 3. According to the Dallas Morning News, Devin Brown, 28, told police that he was aware that Mo 3 was dating a known witness and that he was upset over a video posted on Facebook involving Mo 3 and the woman. However, Brown denies playing a role in the shooting. Brown was indicted on murder charges in the death of Mo 3 on Wednesday, April 21st. Phone records show numerous calls between Brown and 20-year-old Kiwan Dontel White on the day before the Mo 3 was shot by White. Cell phone data placed White near the apartment where Mo 3 stayed the night before the shooting and also showed him on a similar path as Mo 3 leading up to the shooting. As an arrest warrant affidavit showed that the witness identified White as the gunman. White was charged with murder and indicted on the charges in February, and he was also indicted Thursday on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in connection with the November shooting. Okay, Brown is facing additional charges after police conducted a search of his home where a stolen AK-47 was found in his closet, as well as a substance that tested positive for synthetic cannabinoids. I can't even say the word. Fake weed. Dude had some fake weed. Cannabinoids. Okay. Wow, that was hard to say. Often referred to as K2 or Spice. And methamphetamine tabs, scales, baggies, and more than $3,200 in cash. For those change, Brown was also indicted on 1 count of conspiracy to possess and intend to distribute a controlled substance. So this dude right here, If y'all remember Mo 3, the dude jumped out the car. He ran down Mo 3 shooting him. He accidentally shot a pedestrian, somebody else that was sitting in the car. And that person was the person that was able to ID this guy. Okay. And this story kind of trips me out too. Elon Musk says a bunch of people will probably die going to Mars. So now, who wants to be the first person to take the trip to Mars? Okay. Who wants to be that dude? Let's play a little bit of it. Let's see what he says. But he basically, you know, it's a dangerous thing. I wouldn't want to be the. Somebody asked me just like 2 days ago. They said, Jimmy, if you were offered a chance to get on one of these ships and go to Mars to colonize Mars, would you go? And I was like, hell no, because you know we don't know. The first ship might crash. You know, if you send people 100 times and then on like 88, you want to be like, you want to go, Jimmy? I'd be like, yeah, you know, it made it 88 missions and ain't crashed, then, you know, I'll go. But to say, hey, man, you know, hey, some people might die, then I ain't getting on your damn spaceship, homie. I can't do it. Not today. So let's hear a little bit of what he had to say.
Statements in that, I think the Earth, like I don't think we're currently doomed. To be clear, this is very important. Very importantly, you know, there are people in all parts of the spectrum, from ranging from nothing to worry about, CO2 just makes things better, to we're doomed and there's nothing we can do about it. I am somewhere in the middle.
Okay, so he don't believe we're doomed, right? Stephen Hawking, you know, Stephen Hawking said, if you leave all your eggs in one basket, you're destined to be doomed, right? That we need to expand, we need to reach farther spots of space, colonize, so we don't end up losing. Because if there's not aliens out there, which now we know there probably is aliens because we're seeing spaceships, then if our race of humans die, we go extinct, you know. But if we colonize Mars or the moon or somewhere else, then the human species will carry on for a long, long time, maybe forever, but we don't know.
So my concern with the CO2 is not kind of where we are today, or even you know the current rate of carbon generation, but really if carbon generation keeps accelerating and we keep getting
Okay, hold on. I gotta address this one. I hate to pause it on. He says they've been teleporting to Mars for years now. I don't know. That's some beam me up, Scotty type stuff. I don't believe that people are teleporting. I don't believe that people are going back in time. I just have a hard time wrapping my head around that. You know what I'm saying? I love the conspiracy. I love the videos that people make on it. You know, these reincarnation, time jumpers, loopers, and there's a little bit of everything on YouTube. But I don't really believe that stuff's happening. And I don't think there's nobody on Mars. One, we can't get there. You know, I've addressed this 1,000 times in the conspiracy hour that I do here on Jamz TV, that we've never been to the moon. We can't get there. We're protected by the Van Allen radiation belt, and we would have died if we would have went through it. Radiation would have killed everybody on the ship. If you look at the ships they had built in the 60s, come on, our cell phones have more technology today than the ships that got manned to moon, the 16 Apollo missions, right? That is total. Hold on.
What a crock of bullshit.
You got to hit the bullshit button on that one, okay? So if we've never been to the moon, what makes you think we can get to Mars? That's even farther away, right? We can't. Okay, we can't get to Mars. It's all hocus pocus. It's not going to happen in my lifetime. And it's definitely not going to happen in anybody in this room's lifetime that's watching this channel. It's not going to happen, okay? Because all that they're selling you is a bunch of...
If bullshit were money, you'd be a millionaire.
That's right. If bullshit was money, you would be a millionaire. Why the man's a millionaire right here, right? He's a damn billionaire. If bullshit was money.
Increase in the Keeling curve, you know, the CO2 possibility in the atmosphere. And if
he's barefooted too. Look at that.
Then I think we could. There's some risk of sort of nonlinear climate change. So thus far we've seen the CO2 parts per million be fairly linear on our time scale, although it looks very exponential on geologic time scale. But there are certain potential nonlinear events, like if we raise the temperature to the point where we melt the Siberian traps or something like that.
Okay, I gotta stop it. This dude is the master of selling bullshit. I ain't saying everything he sells is bullshit. You know, the Tesla car, great car, all that stuff, great. But this whole space I'm taking to people have been saying this same type Richard Branson type shit forever. Oh, I'm gonna build me a spaceship. We're gonna take you up there. There's gonna be a hotel. Robert Bigelow, all these kooky billionaire ass dudes, like they don't know what to do with their money. Because once you buy like 700 Lamborghinis and you got a Ferrari and you got a G6 jet plane, a G7, and you know what I'm saying, you got 50 Cent singing at your birthday party, you run out of shit to do with your money. And then you start fantasizing, oh, I'm going to go colonize Mars. Dude, you are not colonizing Mars. You ain't even getting to Mars. You know what I'm saying? Before anybody touches Mars, you will be dead along with me. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody getting to Mars anytime soon. Our technology is nowhere near that. But they'll sell you. They will sell you the hope and the dream. And if you guys believe this shit, I got a bridge for sale. It is all.
Step right up and get your bullshit here.
Bam. Right? That's what I say.
And methane escapes, yeah.
Yeah, there's just
We've been to the moon, Mars, and other galaxies, Jimmy. I don't believe it, Cindy. I don't believe it.
In Siberia, there's potentially trapped gases deep in the ocean. If the ocean warms, that could be
NASA gets $22.6 billion a year.
Risks that are not wise to take.
And let me tell you this: they get that much money and have never been our lower Earth orbit. We have never been no higher than 250 miles above this planet. Okay, Virginia is bigger than that. If you want 150 miles straight up, you will hit the ISS, the International Space Station. That's how far we've been into space. 150 miles. One time we took the Challenger up 50 more miles, between 50 and 100 miles up past the ISS. And the astronauts started experiencing what they said was shooting stars going through their helmet. But what they really was experiencing was mass radiation. They started to feel the effects from the Van Allen radiation belt that protects our planet. Okay, some of my conspiracy people would say, well, the Van Allen radiation belt is sort of like the firmament. You are not getting past that, and that's why I'm saying we're not going to Mars. We're not colonizing Mars. We're not going to the moon. And for a fact, the reason I know nobody's been to the moon, because if we've been to the moon, there'd be a Walmart up there. There'd be damn Wendy's. There'd be a Burger King. There'd be a KFC. There'd be hotels. That's how I know we have not been to the moon. It's just simple facts. It would already be commercialized. You know what I'm saying? There'd be guest house. They'd be selling property right now on the moon if we could get to it. You want to buy a piece of the moon? It'd be for sale. Just the way it is. It's all.
Now that was grade A bullshit.
See, I tell you, bullshit button comes in handy.
And since we know that long term, we're going to have renewable energy anyway, because we'll run out of oil and gas. It's not going to last forever. So we know where this ends up. This has to end up with renewable, sustainable energy. It's tautological. It's really just a question of, do we try to get there sooner or later? And we should try to get there sooner. It's obvious. Why run how long do you want to run this experiment?
Yeah, it's also true that even if we stopped CO2 production, that's probably still not enough. That we do need mechanisms for extraction of CO2 from the atmosphere and the oceans that don't exist right now.
I said I am. People sometimes think I'm sort of like. I'm kind of in the middle of the spectrum, I think if we stop CO2 production today, which obviously we cannot do without civilization coming to a grinding halt.
Okay, let me pause that right there. George Burns says there are lizard people, and Trump has an annual meeting with them. Now, I think if there was lizard people, I don't think they would want to go meet Trump. I don't know. That's just my thought on it. McDonald's would be there. Buddha, you know the facts, man. Mickey D's would be there. Ronald McDonald would have a spot right on the moon if you could get there. Okay, let's see. Jimmy, the Apollo astronauts, except for 2, have died from radiation cancer. The Queen is a lizard. I don't know if the Queen is a lizard. I doubt the Queen. I don't think anybody's a damn lizard, people. Okay, I don't think there's no lizard people on our planet. I think YouTube, nobody thought anybody was lizard. I guess they did. They lived, I guess, was before pre-YouTube, and they kind of believed if you put these glasses on, you could see the aliens. But I think it's just a lot of cool videos, and people come up with some crazy things, and it catches on, and people will believe anything. They believe all kinds of tons of bullshit.
To get you any deeper in here, I'll need a ladder to climb out.
I mean, you look at people that are cult leaders. We know they're crazy, right? But people still believe them. People still follow them. All these things. So if you tell people, like if I said, man, there's a race of people and they're turtles, right? And they ain't teenage mutants, right? Or if I said there's a race of people and they're chicken people, somebody's going to believe that. Alex Dykes, he would believe it. Shout out to Alex if you watch it, right? Alex would believe it. He'd be like, damn, man, there's chicken people. He'd be going around telling people, yo, you hear? There's chicken people. They'd be like, how you know there's chicken people? Jimmy Jamz, man, said there's chicken people. And Jimmy Jamz wouldn't lie to me. He's like Tucker Carlson, right? They don't lie. But, I mean, somebody would believe it, and, there's, the saying, there's a sucker born every day. So I just think that they played a big hoax on the world because of the Cold War, and we never went to the moon. The space race was a joke. We were lacking in missile technology. The Russians were more advanced than America. So we lied. We're good at that. America will make up some shit quick. You don't think we will? What about weapons of mass destruction? Right? What about weapons of mass destruction? Right? We won't make nothing up. Our country wouldn't lie to us, right? They wouldn't lie to us. We've been to the moon. Weapons of mass destruction, right? Let's create a war around weapons of mass destruction. The man's in a damn hole with a gun, AK-47, in a hole in the desert, right? You got all of America thinking we about to die from weapons of mass destruction, and that's all everywhere, right? Just all on the news. Weapons of mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction. They said it so many times, but it was just to get people to back them so they could go to war over some oil. That's it. America's greedy. Let's face the facts. I mean, as Americans, if you can't admit that we are a greedy culture, we want everything right here, right now, perfect, and we don't take no for an answer. You don't want to sell us your oil cheap. We're coming to take it. We're not going to change our way of life because Americans are not like that. We won't go looking for alternative resources. We'd be like, hell with that. Let's just go bomb Iraq. And we'll go take their oil fields. And then we'll have Saudi Arabia sell it to us $100 cheaper a barrel. And then we'll start stockpiling it. Boom. And now we got a surplus of oil. And then as soon as we'll drop it down, when nobody's driving around during the whole pandemic. And then as soon as this pandemic's over, we're going to make that shit $8 a gallon. We're going to make all our money back and some. And that's just how, like, when they give out these free checks, nah, you're going to be paying for that. You're going to be paying for that. You're going to be paying for that in your taxes for the next. Tiffany, my kid's in here. Send me the money for the new Mr. Beast burger. I didn't know Mr. Beast had a new burger. And I'm a little disappointed in the Mr. Beast thing. You know what I'm saying? The burger was good. They just messed up my order and put mayonnaise on it, right? And I hate mayonnaise, so I had to eat half of it without the mayonnaise. And I usually don't even do that. But all in all, I have to say the Mr. Beast burger is a smash burger. You know what I'm saying? A fresh burger. It was good. It was decent. It was decent. Did you go to your interview, Tiff? Let's see what this says. A couple of years ago, the number of people was like 14,000 still hiding in underground bunkers from Y2K. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. I don't believe anybody was hiding in no bunker for Y2K. It's Dream X, Mr. Beast. It's at 4. Okay. Well, good luck. I congratulated you earlier on your promotion. I don't know. You can go back and watch the video. But so Mr. Beast got some new burger, huh? Like that dude ain't got enough money. Good luck. Okay, guys, my hour is almost up with you. I'm glad y'all were here to catch the headlines with me today. And I think we went over a lot of stuff. Oh, one more thing before I go. Tekashi 6ix9ine. I almost forgot about the OG rainbow-haired homie. Okay. So a lot of people saying Tekashi would never make a comeback. He couldn't do it. Nobody would watch him live. Nobody go to his concerts. Tekashi would get killed. And I'm going to make an update video on this later tonight too. But, you know, Tekashi's been out by himself, riding around with Jade. They stopped at a KFC, not a KFC, but a Chick-fil-A. So Tekashi likes Chick-fil-A. And he stopped at some other like Dunkin' Donuts the other day. And people in the windows are taking pictures. And it's just him, right? Well, the second picture was him and Jade. Also, he performed at a concert. He was up on the catwalk, on the balcony singing, crowd going crazy. The man has $2 million worth of jewelry on, jumps off the stage, gets down in the crowd, starts wilding out, going crazy. There's rumors that say one of his chains came off, okay? Somebody scooped up the chain, and they have it for sale online. But here's coming from his lawyer and his publicist. They say that's not true. Tekashi did jump into the crowd. It's on video. Y'all can watch that. It's all over the place. But people were snatched at him, of course, but he didn't lose his chain. Now, we know when you buy a chain that's that thick, okay, you ain't snatching that chain. You would snatch his head off before you snatch that chain off. Look at the King Von Quando Rondo incident. It looked like Quando Rondo was literally picking King Von up off the ground by his chain. Okay. And that chain didn't break. They didn't get the chain. Right. So you can imagine if you were in the crowd, somebody snatching a chain, them chains them rappers wear are the size of damn, you could lock your bike up with it. You know what I'm saying? You ever went up to a bike chain and you're going to need some bolt cutters to get that damn thing off. Unless you snatch it off like over his head, you could probably possibly get it off. But to snatch it off his neck, you'd probably break that man's neck. Them chains don't break that easy. Look it up, LOL. I will look that up, Burns. I promise you I'll look that up. 1,400 people you say is still in bunkers because of Y2K. I don't believe that, though. Don't forget my wrench. Dr. Love, I got you tonight. Anybody that lost your wrench, I will make sure you get your wrenches back tonight when I come live. I'm time you out, Dr. Love. LOL. Okay. Yeah, let me go. Before I go, I'll see. Well, no, I'll just give everybody their wrenches when I get back tonight. My hour is up with you guys. Y'all have an awesome day. And if you like to support JM's TV, best way to do it, of course, is Cash App, $, JM's TV. Need all the support you can. Help the channel grow. If you can't drop a couple bucks in the Cash App, make sure you give this video at least a like. And share it if you're super, super cool, right? To a friend. And I will see you guys tonight. We're coming back tonight. I'm dropping a video, which is going to be a 6ix9ine update. So make sure you guys share that. Okay, share that for me. And tonight I will be back with the conspiracy hour. We're going to talk craziness tonight. And you're going to want to be there for it. So I will see you guys later tonight. After I drop my video, I will be live later this evening. And I will see you guys there. Peace.